Hi, I'm Chris Johnston from Work Visa Lawyers. We are one of Australia's largest immigration law firms and have a team of professional immigration lawyers and registered migration agents who can help you. There's good news for Australian aged care providers who are struggling to meet the growing demand for skilled workers. Aged care workers no doubt play a crucial role in supporting and caring for Australia's ageing population. Aged care providers can now request an Aged Care Industry Labour Agreement, ACILA, which aims to help address the serious shortages and ongoing shortages for workers throughout Australia. What does a labour agreement offer? Access to occupations such as nursing support worker, personal care assistant, aged or disability carer. Registered nurse and enrolled nurse occupations are not included in this agreement. What visas are available under this agreement? Employers can either sponsor a skilled worker for a temporary skills select TSS subclass 482 provisional visa valid for up to 4 years. For eligible applicants who hold a relevant AQF Certificate 3 or equivalent, or have had at least 1 year of relevant work experience to substitute for the formal qualification. No extra work experience is required in addition to the above. A permanent residency pathway can be available to sponsored workers who demonstrate at least 2 years of full-time experience in the nominated occupation in Australia. The employer-nominated scheme, subclass 186 permanent visa. Those who have already worked in aged care in Australia could access a shorter direct path to permanent residency, PR. Applicants who possess 2 years' experience in a direct relevant occupation not tied to a particular employer or visa subclass may be nominated for a permanent 186 visa. The work experience requirement have been undertaken in Australia, meaning overseas experience does not count. For both TSS and ENS visas, work experience needs to be relevant to the nominated occupation at the required skill level, full-time or otherwise part-time pro rata, and undertaken in the last 5 years. What do employers need to do? Firstly, aged care providers who want to access this labour agreement must consult and enter into a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, with the relevant union or unions. After a Memorandum of Understanding is signed, aged care providers can proceed to request a labour agreement by making the application to the Department of Home Affairs. The advantages of Aged Care Industry Labour Agreement versus a Designated Area Agreement or DAMA. Number 1, salary concession. The Temporary Skilled Migration Income Threshold, or TSMIT, for employer-sponsored visas is set at $70,000, or at least $63,000 if a salary concession is available under the DAMA. Compared to this, the minimum salary under the Aged Care Industry Labour Agreement is $51,222. Number 2, certainty in occupations available. The agreement covers a range of lower skilled and semi-skilled roles within the aged care industry. These roles are no doubt essential for ensuring quality care and continuity of care. Compared to this, not all regional areas covered by DAMA contain all of these occupations. Advantage number 3, direct PR pathway. The Aged Care Industry Labour Agreement can offer a quicker path to permanent residency for those who have already had 2 years of relevant work experience in the aged care industry. Work Visa Lawyers has supported many businesses across Australia to negotiate and enter into labour agreements including DAMAs, industry and company specific. If your sponsorship needs are not currently being filled by the standard migration program, we are here to help. Frequently asked questions. Do I need a skills assessment? Applicants do not need a positive skills assessment if they hold a relevant AQF qualification that was completed in Australia. A relevant skills assessment for the nominated occupation is required for applicants who have had overseas qualifications or relying on work experience to substitute for a formal qualification. Question: a family member or friend in Australia wants to sponsor me to provide aged care support services, can they apply for an aged care industry labour agreement? No. Only Australian aged care providers can access aged care industry labour agreements. An approved provider is an organisation that has been approved by the Aged Care Quality and Safety Commission to deliver Australian government subsidised home, residential or flexible care services to older Australians. Your family member or friend might instead consider accessing those services through an aged care provider that you work for. How do I find a sponsor for the aged care industry labour agreement? Here are some approaches that you can try. Number 1, search popular recruitment websites such as Seek or Indeed. You could include search terms such as DAMA or sponsorship or industry labour agreement. Number 2, speak with those in your networks. Perhaps you have a friend or co-worker working in aged care who can recommend or refer you. Number 3, at the time of publication, there is a list of current aged care industry labour agreements that has been published through a Freedom of Information request. We have published this list on our website and you can see the list there. The list will expand over time as more industry labour agreements are signed for aged care. The Department of Home Affairs also publishes a list of current labour agreements on its website. Please note that the list of current labour agreements might not be entirely up to date. Question: I'm 45 years old or over. Can I apply for permanent residency through an aged care industry labour agreement? Unfortunately not. The ACILA does not offer a concession to the age limit for PR, and applicants must be under 45 when they apply for the visa. What concessions are available under the aged care industry labour agreement? Salary concession. A reduced TISMA applies, which is $51,222. English requirements depend on whether the aged care provider is CALD, culturally and linguistically diverse, or not. Those sponsored by CALD providers must achieve a 482 visa overall IELTS 4.5 or equivalent with no minimum scores in each band, or for the 186, overall IELTS of 5.5 or equivalent with no minimum scores in each band. Those sponsored by non-CALD providers must achieve 482 visa IELTS 5 or equivalent with a minimum of 5 for each in speaking and listening and a 4.5 for reading and writing. And for the 186 visa, overall IELTS 5.5 or equivalent with no minimum scores in each band. So now you know more about the aged care labour agreement. If you need professional advice or assistance, then you can contact us at Work Visa Lawyers. Thanks for watching.